Hello and welcome to Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audiofic. This is a new 10-part series called I'll Remember You Tomorrow. Written by me, narrated by me, Dawn, and I hope you really enjoy it. Make sure you like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on other audiofics that are coming your way. Enjoy! Part 8. Echoes in the snow. Marinette woke with her knuckles burning. Not pain, not really, just a phantom warmth, like someone had pressed their mouth there and the skin had never agreed to forget it. She lay still under the duvet, staring at the ceiling as if it might tell her what happened last night. For a few seconds nothing came. Then, steam, amber light, a table by a fogged window, pink roses, too bright against winter, Adrienne's thumb brushing the corner of her mouth, her breath caught, sudden, as memories snapped into place with a sharpness that startled her. She sat up too fast and the room swayed. The sticky notes came into focus. Her mirror looked back at her with a face that didn't look like it belonged to a girl who almost been kissed in a cafe and then left behind in the snow. Read the diary first. Marinette's hand was already reaching for it. She opened the diary and flipped to the last page. Her handwriting was there, steady but pressed, like she'd written with urgency before her day dissolved. Valentine's date happened. Pink roses, cafe, hot chocolate. He said, I don't want to lose this. Almost kiss. Alert hit. He left. Roses dropped in snow. Cat Noir came. Rooftop. Knuckle kiss. Princess. Marinette stared at the words until her eyes blurred. She remembered. Not all of it perfectly. There were soft gaps, like wool pulled thin, but she remembered enough. She pressed her fingertips to the knuckle and swallowed hard. A warmth in a cafe, a cold bench by the river, a kiss that felt like comfort and something far more dangerous. Her chest tightened around the thought that hurt the most. Adrienne left. Not because he didn't want to be there. Not because she said the wrong thing. He left like someone pulling a hand from fire. She shut her eyes briefly. A flicker, unwanted and sharp, flashed behind them. Adrienne's voice. I have to go. Cat Noir's voice. Stay inside. The echo wasn't just similarity. It felt like a brain had stepped into a footprint already pressed into snow. Marinette opened her eyes, heart pounding. That wasn't normal. People repeated phrases, that happened, but this felt like the phrase was a hook, like the words had weight beyond language. She flipped to the back of the diary where she'd been mapping and stared at the puzzle pieces. Pieces added last night. Warmth can exist. The city can still forget. Adrienne looked terrified to leave. Cat Noir kissed my hand. Reminiscence came for the moment, not just the city. Then underlined twice. Words can echo. Marinette's mouth went dry. She hadn't written that before. She wrote it last night, which meant she noticed it then too. So why did it feel worse now? Because today, she could feel the city humming under her skin. Subtle, wrong, like a distant engine idling. Because she could feel reminiscence, like a weather front. Not here yet, but coming. Downstairs the bakery smelled like sugar and warmth, and it made her want to cry. Tom looked up the moment she entered. His expression softened in that careful way it always did lately, as if he was trying to be gentle with a glass that had already cracked once. "Morning, sweetheart." Marinette smiled. It was real, but thin. "Morning." Sabrine studied her face with a quiet precision. "Did you sleep?" Marinette hesitated. The truth sat in her mouth heavy. "I woke up remembering," she said instead. Her father's shoulders sagged in visible relief. "That's good, isn't it?" Marinette nodded, then looked down at her hands. "I remember enough," she murmured. Sabine stepped closer and brushed Marinette's hair back from her forehead like she was little again. "Enough is still something." Marinette swallowed hard. "Adrien brought me roses?" Tom blinked. His face lit up immediately. "He did?" Marinette nodded, and the joy in her father's smile made something twist in her chest. "It was nice," she said softly. "It was really nice." Sabrine's eyes stayed kind. "And then?" Marinette's throat tightened. "And then there was an Akuma." Tom's grin fell. "Oh, Marinette." Marinette's fingers curled into her sleeve. "It's okay. I'm okay." That wasn't true, not completely, but she couldn't put the shape of it into words without breaking something in her parents' faces. So she took her bag, kissed both their cheeks, and left for school with her heart held carefully in both hands like a cup too full. Paris looked too pretty for what it was doing. Snow had softened the streets overnight. Trees wore white lace. Rooftops gleamed. Everything looked clean and untouched. Marinette knew better. She walked past the river on purpose, not because she wanted to suffer, because she needed to know if the world held evidence. The bench was there. The snow around it had been disturbed by footprints, then covered again by fresh falling. The river slid dark and steady beneath the bridge. Marinette's breath caught. The roses were still there. Not perfect anymore. Petals bruised, some half buried. The pink looked almost shocking against the white, like a wound the city hadn't managed to hide. Marinette stopped. She stared at them until her throat hurt. A couple walked past, laughing softly. A child threw a snowball at his friend. Life kept moving around her like she was invisible. Marinette crouched and reached towards the bouquet. Her fingers hovered. She didn't know what to do with them. If she picked them up, it would feel like claiming a moment Adrien had abandoned. If she left them, it would feel like agreeing that the moment had meant nothing. Marinette's chest tightened. She picked up one rose, just one. It was cold, the stem stiff, the petals soft but damp. She stood holding it loosely and whispered to no one. It mattered. The wind took her words and didn't answer. And then something brushed the edge of her mind. A soft tug. A thought slipping sideways. Marinette's spine went cold. Not here. Not now. She straightened quickly and started walking again, heart pounding, the rose held like a fragile weapon. At school, Alia found her before Marinette could find her. Alia's eyes immediately darted to the rose in Marinette's hand. "Oh my," Alia breathed. "Tell me everything." Marinette tried to smile. It was good. And then it wasn't. Alia's expression tightened. Another reminiscence. Marinette nodded once. Alia cursed under her breath. Okay, we keep you grounded today. Not spiraling, no going off alone. Marinette's laugh came out hollow. I'm not planning to. Alia watched her for a second longer, then leaned in. Do you remember the date? She asked quietly. Marinette's fingers tightened around the rose stem. Yes, she whispered. I remember almost all of it. Alia's relief was immediate and fierce. Good! Then her expression sharpened. And Adrian? Marinette's stomach twisted. I don't know, she said softly. He left. He looked like he hated leaving. Alia's gaze narrowed slightly. That's interesting. Marinette frowned. What does that mean? Alia hesitated, then shook her head. Nothing. Just file it. Marinette didn't like the way Alia said file it, like it was a clue, like it belonged on a board with red string. Marinette pressed the rose to her chest like it could keep her warm. Then the corridor noise softened, not silence, softened, as if the air had suddenly thickened. Marinette froze mid-step. Alia's eyes widened. Do you feel that? Marinette nodded, throat tight. Pressure. Not a full accumulate, not yet, but the city was inhaling. A student bumped Marinette's shoulder and muttered, Sorry, without looking up. Marinette flinched, because for a second the word didn't sound like his. It sounded like Adrian. I'm sorry. The same condescence. Marinette's heart slammed against her ribs. A laugh echoed from further down the hall, too loud, too sharp. And then a voice carried across the corridor, complaining dramatically. I can't stand waking up and forgetting. Marinette went ice cold. She hadn't heard that line before. Her vision flickered. For a heartbeat, the corridor warped. Straight lines bending, the distance to the stairwell stretching like taffy. Marinette grabbed the wall. Alia's hand tightened on her arm. We're getting you out. No, Marinette breathed. Not out, just quiet. They slipped into an empty classroom. The door closed. The pressure didn't leave. It hovered. Testing. Marinette pressed her palm to her forehead and tried to think like the girl who wrote the diary. Notice. Don't chase. But the deja vu wasn't just in her thoughts anymore. It was in the world. Words repeating like they were being fed back into the city. As if reminiscence wasn't only bending memory. It was bending language. Alia stared at her. What happened? Marinette's voice came out small. I heard him. Him who? Reminiscence, Marinette whispered, or the echo of it? Alia's face tightened. Okay, that's not normal. That's what I keep saying, Marinette murmured, and then flinched because the phrase itself felt familiar, like she'd spoken it before. Alia swore quietly. This is getting worse. Marinette's eyes stung. She looked down at the rose in her hand. Pink petals, cold stem, a moment of warmth she almost lost. A reminder that she was still capable of choosing something. She stood up slowly. "I'm going to see Adrian," she said. Alia's eyes widened. "Marinette?" "I'm not going to accuse him," Marinette said. "I'm not going to demand answers. I need to look at him and see if the relief is still there." Alia hesitated and then nodded once. "Okay, I'm coming with you." "No," Marinette said gently. "Please, not this. I need to be normal." Alia's jaw tightened, but she backed down with visible effort. "Fine, but if you feel the pull, you sit down. You text me. You do not try to be brave alone." Marinette nodded. Adrian was near the window again. When Marinette stepped into view, his head snapped up. Relief. Immediate. A flicker of it so strong it almost looked like pain. Adrian took a step towards her, then stopped unsure. "Marinette," he said softly. "Hi," she managed. Adrian's gaze dropped to the rose in her hand. His face went very still. He swallowed. You found them," muttering under his breath, unable to look away from the bruised pink petals. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Marinette flinched. The words hit her like deja vu as her vision flickered again. For a heartbeat, the corridor stretched. Adrian's face looked too far away. Adrian stepped closer immediately, alarm flashing. "Marinette, are you okay?" The pressure brushed her mind again. A tug. A pull. Marinette forced herself to breathe. "In," she whispered. "Out." "I didn't mean," Adrian started. Marinette lifted a hand, stopping him gently. "No," she said. "It's not you. It's the words." Adrian blinked. "The words?" "I keep hearing things twice," she said softly. "Like they've already happened. Like the city is repeating itself." Adrian went very still. "Marinette," he said carefully, "you should sit down." The corridor warped again, just slightly. The windows behind Adrian shimmered. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. Adrian's jaw clenched, and in that microsecond, Marinette saw something raw underneath. Fear. For her. Adrian began, then stopped. "Last night," Marinette whispered, "you left." Adrian's eyes closed for half a second. "I know," he said quietly. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked. "No," Adrian said fiercely. "No, you didn't." Then softer. "You were perfect." The pressure surged. A distant scream echoed outside. Phones began buzzing. The Akuma alert arrived late to a storm already building. Adrian stepped back like the floor shifted under him. Marinette's breath caught. She knew what he was going to say. She knew it like deja vu. Adrian swallowed. "Marinette," he began, voice shaking. Marinette took a step towards him. "Don't," she whispered. Adrian's eyes flickered to the rose, then to her face. I won't, he said, low and urgent. Then he looked past her shoulders towards the city, and Marinette felt the world bend. A student screamed. Adrian moved fast, grabbing Marinette's wrist, not to pull her close, but to pull her out of the distortion center. He guided her into a classroom, shut the door, and locked it. Adrian! He pressed a finger to his lips. Listen. Outside, the school shifted wrong. Inside, the room held steady. Barely. Adrian's chest rose and fell like he was containing something with sheer will. Then he looked at her and whispered, Do you trust me? The door rattled as the building groaned. Whatever happens next, he said, voice quiet and breaking. Remember this one thing. What? She whispered. His eyes flickered to her knuckles, then back to her face. You didn't do anything wrong. The pressure surged again, hungry and precise, like reminiscence had finally stopped circling and chosen its target. Thank you for listening to part 8. Ooh, it's building. I hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you smash that like button, share to others who might enjoy it, and make sure you comment down below what you think is happening and what's going to happen in the final 2 chapters. And I hope you're good, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Don't you worry, and I hope you're good. I'm repeating. Ooh, echo. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.